Good morning and welcome to the part 2 of the Engage AGFA class recording for how to capture and create a walkthrough of your UE4 level. In the previous week we went through how to use OBS with some basic settings to record the screen as you did a guided walkthrough of your level. Today we're going to look at some basic settings for Blackmagic design software called DaVinci Resolve to help package and produce your clip as a video with a title page, end credits, and a bit of over-the-top music. So as we had last week, we've got a bit of a run through, learning intentions, if you will. We will be putting in title page, a title screen, an end screen, the game recording footage, obviously, some audio, and then the end page using DaVinci Resolve. I will mention that DaVinci Resolve is free software that you can get from the Blackmagic Design website. There is obviously a pro version, but we are not using that today. The free version is very, very good, and that will be on the computers in front of you in class. And if you're working from home, hopefully you can grab a copy from the DaVinci Resolve website. Remember, make sure you get the free version. All right, so as we move over here to the DaVinci Resolve opening menu, this is what you'll generally be presented with when you first open Resolve. We're going to start a new project. You're going to call yours your name UE4 walkthrough. I'm just going to call mine AGFA demo. We're going to create that project and it will take us to DaVinci Resolve. We can see here there's a number of tabs across the bottom. We are going to use 3 today. We're going to use the media tab, which is where we input content to use. We're going to use the edit tab to cut that content and add title page and credit audio. Actually 4. We'll have a quick look at the Fairlight page just to adjust some of that audio, and then we'll go to the deliver page, which is where we render out the packaged finished video. All right, over to media. So first things first, we need to navigate to where you have that media stored. You guys know that you have that in your shared drive. I have mine here as well. I'm going to drag it in. When I drag it in, if the frame rate of my clip is different to the frame rate of the project, it will ask me or offer me the option to change the project to match. We are going to take that option up this time, and we can see we have our recorded video into our project folder, which is sometimes called a bin, a dump bin, a smart bin, but it's basically just a folder collection of all of your content that you're going to use. So we're going to move over to the edit tab now. This space down here is called the timeline, and this is where we're going to drag things into and work with them to see what is happening over in this right hand screen here, which will be a preview of the output, not unlike OBS. The window on the left is where you can preview clips, on the right is where you can preview the timeline. So we're going to drag our project in, and we can see that it is creating it in 2 parts, with a center. There's video above and audio underneath, and you can kind of see that the video is blue and the audio has got like a green background as well. You will note that it puts it with a bit of a gap. We're just going to leave that gap there. Some clues, if you will. You can drag content up and down, and it will create extra tracks of video and audio, which is useful if you're dealing with lots of clips or you want to overlay clips. But we're not needing that today. Also, adjusting the size of the timeline, you can use these buttons here to scale it smaller or larger. The larger it is, the easier it is to get very fine cuts if you're trying to slice things in and out, and the smaller it is, obviously the easier it is to see it all and move through long projects. You can also adjust the size of the video and audio timeline to suit your screen and what you're trying to edit as well. So we know that from my clip last week there's a bit of introduction stuff at the start that we don't need, and I'm just going to see if I can pick out where that stops and starts so I can cut that off. I'm just going to use the timeline marker here, which is the red line, to just click and drag and scrub through. So let's record some game footage. So I can see about there is where I think I start to introduce the game proper.
Hi, my name's Toby.
It is, so I know roughly where I need that to start from. So I want to get rid of this part here. I'm going to use the razor blade tool, the slicing tool. So if I click on it and come down here to blade, you can see it has cut both my video and audio tracks together, which is good. Worth mentioning, if yours doesn't, then you probably just will Control Z to undo that and make sure you have both tracks selected, and come over here to this link button just to make sure that selection is linked. Otherwise, when you do this, it will only cut one part and not both, as you can see there. So make sure it's linked, and you can very easily cut the front section off that we don't need. You can see it's put a nice little slice in the timeline there. With these two parts connected, I'm just going to hit the delete button, and that deletes the bit I don't want, and it sort of shifts my timeline back as well, which is great. So we can see now,
Hi, my name's...
it starts where I want it to. I'm just going to check the end, and at the end here,
At the end screen here, and I'm going to quit the game rather than playing.
I can see there's a little bit of stuff that I don't want, but I'm going to try and maybe put a transition or fade that to black in my transition before I go to the end credits. So I'm just going to leave that there because it's not too long. All right, effects library. If you don't see it, you need to come up here and select it so that it will be displayed. There's some transitions, there's some effects, there is some titles. We want the title to start with. I'm just going to make sure I have enough space here, and I'm going to bring in a text. So you can see here, I now have a title page holder. I'm going to double click on it, and over here, it's going to give me some options for writing in, which is great. So this one here is just one big block of text, and if you're wondering why you can't see it here, it's just because you need to click the timeline there to show that the timeline marker is over your title page clip. So if I type something here, I'm just going to see that in the middle. You could have a different option if you want. If you don't like that one, you could put in like a lower third, if you will, which will give you like a bigger and smaller option. There's a scrolling option. I'm going to save that for the end credits. But I think I'm kind of just happy with the single big title. So I'm going to put what you would put your name. I'm going to put Richard's name because he was the creator of this, and I'm going to put UE4 game walkthrough. So you can see here, as it is typed in here, as we see it here, we have other options. I'm going to click the alignment option to make that in the middle there, which is good. That's how I want it. You can change the color and the size of this. That's too big. That's about right. Let's give it a nice green. There are other options here for shadows and whatnot. Let's see if we get a shadow. Don't know that we actually see that. Yeah, but there's other options you can play around with there if you want to. I'm happy with how that is. So let's move our project closer. I'm gonna join it up. You can see it just sort of snaps in, which is good. Let's get a transition in here. I'm going to have a blur transition. I'm going to drop that over the middle of those two tracks. So you can see it's part on one, part on the other. And as I press play,
Hi, my name's Toby.
it blurs from one track into the next. If I was being really cute, I might duck the start of the audio here so it fades in to louder, but we don't need to worry about that today. We just want to get this done relatively quickly. Okay, I'm going to move over now to the end. I'm just going to set up our end credits. So as before, I'm going to go to titles. I'm going to grab this scroll. I'm going to drag it in here at the end, and I can see that as I press play and it goes through, I have a scrolling piece of text that scrolls from bottom to top. So anything I type in here is going to show up in my end credits. You could type this ahead of time in a Word document and then copy it all in. Depends what works for you. So we're going to put in here your name. So in this case, I'm going to put Richard. So I'm going to put something like game level created by Richard. What does it look like? So already I know this is justified. Oh, this alignment is to the left and I want it in the middle. Not too happy with how it is, so I'm going to give myself a bit more space by just adding another line. Then I want a bit of space in between here. I'm going to put in here, actually I'm going to put game engine, spelling, is Epic Games UE4 or Unreal Engine 4. Just see there, I've got a bit of a, okay, I'm going to put asset pack, and this is where we'll need to put the, I think it's the village asset pack. Well, I think go back into the Epic Store and get the actual name, and you can get the artist as well. So I'll put that there so it's ready to go, and then I'm going to put an entry in here called music, because we are about to put some music in there, but I'll give myself a placeholder. So let's have a look what we've got here. So as we press play, we can see there's information there. It goes through pretty quickly. I want that to go a bit slower, and the easiest way to do this is to click the end of the clip and drag it longer. And we'll be able to see here now that the longer the clip, by default, that adjusts the timing for the writing there. Pretty happy with that, as it now is easy to read. So there's two things we need to go back and fix: the actual proper name for the asset pack and the artist, and we're going to add some music. So now's a good time to talk about music. We're going to add some background music to come under our audio line here of the talking. So now's a good time to bring up this slide. This slide here is basically just telling us that we have quite a few options for royalty-free music, and that as a general rule, most of these sites will ask you to make sure you give appropriate accreditation or credit to the author of the music in your end credits, which is why we have a space there for it. I've given you links to 3 websites. I'm going to choose some music from one of these websites already. And that's going to be ChillHop Music, but there's lots more sites than this available. There's many paid options as well. But if you look for more than a couple of minutes, you'll find a good range of music, and you should be able to find something that you're happy with. All right, so we'll come over here. You can see I am on the ChillHop Music website. I've made an account for this. It was free. It doesn't take long. Some of the other sites that I had links there to is Bensound, which is good for not only music but also sound effects. And then there's a really good creator safe playlist made by Riot Games that has several hundred tracks on it if you want to use something more for live streaming. But as I said, I'm going to use ChillHop Music today. I'm already logged in. I already know what track I want. I've actually already downloaded. It's this first track here. I'm just going to show you how you would do that if you hadn't got it already. Just click on the end settings, go to download, and it will give you the option to download, but it also, more importantly, gives you the requirements for licensing for this free to use clip, which is basically give the appropriate video credit to the artist. So we're going to copy that, come back in here to our end credit settings. I've put that in there. Let's just check that that worked. So we're going to play through that bit. Getting there, getting there, getting there. Here it comes, music. And okay, I can see there's a bit of a problem here. I can't see all of the link. So the easiest way hopefully will be, there we go, just do that. And now we can see the whole link there, which is good. Oh, so we have now met our obligations for giving appropriate credit to the artist for music, so we can add the music to our project. So like with the video, we have to put it into our content bin, or our, just collection of content that we're using. I know that I put my music in the ever popular and probably worst place, being the downloads folder. So I'm just going to go there to get it. You can see this is it here. It's an MP3 file. I'm dragging it in. It's now available for me to use. You can see there it is there. So I'm going to give myself a bit more space here by dragging this up. I'm going to make a second audio track simply by dragging this down and letting it go. Now, I can see that my audio track here is not as long as my entire video, so I could try and get another one, try and find a long one, or in this case, what I'm going to do is drag it down to the start. I'm just going to copy it and paste it. You can see now that it is more than long enough. Let's drag it back here, and instead of, you could use the cut tool and trim it. I am just going to click on the end and drag it back. It will snap to the end there, which is good. And there we have it. So now we should have title page, video, end credits with some background music. Let's see how that looks. If we come back to the start here, there we go. We can hear that music playing.
Hi, my name's Toby. I'm going to walk you through Richard's game from...
Now, there will be a little bit of adjustment required here because the music is quite loud compared to my voiceover. And I would wager if I look just at the waveform here, as we get further in, it'll be even too loud.
In the background, setting...
It is. So this is why we will adjust this. So I don't think there's anything else for us to do on this tab just yet. I think we're looking pretty good. Again, like we've got title page, a transition, end credits. Oh, I know, we didn't put a transition between the last of our video and the end credits for the video. So let's just do that real quick. I'll just put this blur dissolve one on. Kind of want this to go for quite a bit. Let's see.
And I'm going to quit the game rather than play a new game. I'm going to come back over here and...
Yeah, that's good. I might make it just a little bit shorter, but yeah, that's pretty good. All right, so I'm happy with that now. I might save before we go any further. So I'm just going to go save project because we already gave it the appropriate name at the start. So now that is saved. Now we come over here to Fairlight or the audio tab, and we can see a similar sort of display, except we're only dealing with the audio, so only the green lines. Now we have some options to adjust our view here. I'm going to drag that one so we can see a different width. I'm going to drag this one so we can see that it is a bit shorter, maybe too short. There we go. Oh no, I was wrong. That's too short. That'll do. All right, so this is our audio line for us talking. So if I mute that, you'll see
on there.
That is the audio from our video, and if I swap it around, that is the music track that we dragged in. So we can see the music track is quite loud. So we're going to try and lower the audio of that. We can do that a couple of ways. One easy way is to click and drag on this little audio track level line, and you can see it shrinking the waveforms.
But nothing in the save.
Just kind of lowering it, or lowering its gain. I'm just matching them up because we're repeating the clip at the end there.
No.
So I can see that that is still...
oh wait, hang on. What's the...
That's not too bad. Let's go back here.
Okay, more...
Probably my voice is loud enough, but the audio here is quite loud. I could keep trying to use this bar to drag it down, but there's another option. You can see this is audio line 1, audio line 2. I'm going to come over here to the master volume for audio line 2, and I'm just going to lower that a little bit here and see if that helps.
Okay, more filing cabinets, but nothing in there. What do we got? A chair. Oh, looks like some...
That is about right. I think maybe a smidge up, because that means the music is in the background and the volume of my voice and the game sound effects is loud enough to hear over the top.
Gold on the top.
So just while we're here, I'm just going to do a couple little things. I'm going to make it a vocal channel. There's no settings I have in there, just want to make sure it knows it's a vocal channel. And then I'm also going to do a tiny bit of noise reduction. It's going to do a de-hummer because I remember on the day the microphone I was using was a little bit noisy. So that hopefully
I can collect that, so I have. There's another computer screen.
Yeah, that's cleaned it up a little bit. Alright, so we're good here. We're going to come over here to deliver, which is where we render stuff out. So we're going to finish this project off. You can see, again, there's a timeline. You can adjust the size of that timeline the same way you have been able to on other slides. There's a queue here, there's a preview window, and over here there is a bunch of render settings. Now you can make a custom setting if you want, but we are going to take advantage of the large range of preset settings that they have by using YouTube. I'm going to go 1080 for YouTube, and basically you can see it populates all these settings for us. We need not do anything for this other than name our project. So for you, your name UE4 walkthrough. For me, AGFA demo part 2. Oi, spelling. And then you want to set a location. So for you, maybe you set it to your shared drive, or maybe set it to somewhere local and we can move it to our shared drive afterwards. I'm going to send it to the S drive, which is my storage drive. You can press save. You can see it's set to go to that location. All the settings are there. I'm going to click add to render queue, and then I'm going to press start render. And that's literally all we need to do. So all we have to do now is basically wait for the Resolve software to work through the process of rendering the video out, which, depending on how long your video is, will take a few minutes or more. This is relatively quick. It's only taking 3 to 4 minutes, which is great. So we'll fast forward 3 to 4 minutes, and when we get back, we will be able to see the finished product. Okay, and we're back now. That our video has completed. It took about 3.5 minutes, and if we navigate to the spot that we asked it to save to by checking this out, we can see there it is there. I'm going to double click on it and open it with VLC, and straight away I can tell.
Hi, my name's Toby. I'm going to walk you through Richard's game from his Cert 3 in 2020 called The Lobby.
So we can see our video is now good to go. So just recapping what we've done, we used DaVinci Resolve to output a packaged video. We put a title page, we put the video, we put some additional audio and an end credits, and then we rendered that out to a finished project. So that brings our video to a close. Hope you've had good success with your video. If not, just go back, follow the steps, watch it through, or get in touch with Ben or myself if you need a bit of additional help because something's not making sense or something's not working. Alright, thanks for watching.